bacteria and candida to grow and malfunction. Okay? With that, I'm going to introduce my guest. And I've given you a long dissertation into understanding of what happens in the brain, and we're going to be talking more about it here in just a moment. All right? And why these vaccines are so, I tell you, it's just amazing what we're seeing with this. And you have to do your homework. With that, I'm introducing the grandmother of one of my patients, Brandon, and her name is Lynne George. And I'll tell you, if we could all have a grandmother that was like this, that took an active role in this autistic child's case, we would all be fine. And with that, I'm going to introduce Lynne George. Lynne, you're going to have to talk right into the microphone. How are you this morning? Thanks for joining us this morning here.
And thank you for having me, Dr. Chris.
And go ahead and get a little bit closer to the mic. There you go. Very good. And so, Lynne, give us a brief overview of why you're here today.
The reason why I'm here today is to discuss with people and, to let them know how wonderful, first of all, God is and how He's opened this window of opportunity. And Brandon's autism, reversing it, is a culmination of everything. First of all, God in prayers, and you, Dr. Chris, first of all, the things that you did, his hair analysis. The first time he went for a visit, you didn't do anything. You made sure that you got into it to where you knew exactly what was going on with him. So can you tell us about the hair analysis?
One of the things that we look at, obviously, and we've talked about hair analysis on this show, one of the things that we have to look at is that many times we are measuring stress in the body. And people think most of the time, well, I'm just looking for minerals, right? I'm looking for heavy metals. That's an important component, there's no doubt. The other component of, though, is that we're looking at the endocrine system and how it's being stressed. We're looking at how the body is metabolizing sugars, the stress on the adrenals, as we talked about with the hormones, the thyroid, the pancreas, protein utilization, so that we know that is the body in a catabolic tearing down phase, or is it in an anabolic phase, which is rebuilding. Many times, especially with the spectrum of autism disorders that we're looking at, we're seeing that most of these children are in a catabolic state. In other words, their tissues are breaking down faster than they're repairing. And this was the case with Brandon. And what we saw is that his body was breaking down so much quicker than it was able to repair. And that he did have, in fact, heavy metal toxicity. And so we approached it from that standpoint. Now, Brandon is how old now?
Brandon is 5 years and 9 months.
5 years and 9 months. So our first official visit after the hair analysis was in March, so that was when he was about 5 years and